so that we can make the project better before we go out and build it. And that's about it for now. Excuse me, a little more bookkeeping. We advertised this in the Inquirer Mirror on the 15th and 22nd of March, and in the Nantucket Independent on the 14th and 21st of March. Hopefully you saw that. And we've got a pretty good showing here today. I'm not sure how you heard about it, but did anyone get...
There is no paper called the Nantucket Independent.
You're out of town. Really?
I looked for your payment.
Huh?
I'd go look for your payment.
No kidding, yeah. Because it's not cheap, these advertising services.
Yeah, that's good work.
Anyway, did anyone see it in the Inquirer and Mirror? Excellent. And there's no Nantucket anything?
You only have the Inquirer.
That's it. I wonder who the hell, somebody's making some money. We'll look into that. Thank you for pointing that out. Without further ado, let me just introduce Sheila Yancey, who will explain the right-of-way process.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The Right-of-Way Bureau is responsible for acquiring all of the necessary rights in private and public lands for the design, construction, and implementation of this project. The current design plan indicates that no right-of-way will be required. However, if that changes, affected property owners will be contacted by personnel from the Right-of-Way Bureau or consultants representing Mass DOT. The procedures used must comply with state and federal regulations governing the acquisition process. The current design plan, affected property owners' rights are protected under the Massachusetts general laws, primarily Chapter 79. If a project is receiving federal funds, the property owner rights will be further defined under Title III of the Real Property Acts of 1970 as amended. I'll be happy to answer any general questions regarding your right-of-way questions, and I'll be available after the forum for any general questions as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Sheila. One other thing, the project's being funded with Highway Safety Improvement Project funds and general highway regional funding. Its cost is currently at $2.8 million. We intend to advertise this in a few months in late May. We'll probably award it in early or late fall of 2018, so the contractor will probably begin in earnest in the spring of 19. And with that, I'll receive and relinquish the floor to John and Eric, who will give our technical presentation, and then we'll open it up to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tom. So look at the agenda of what we're going to be talking about today. We are going to start with going over who the project team is, the project area for our project. We'll discuss some of the existing issues throughout the corridor, our project goals and proposed improvements for those issues. We'll go over how construction is going to impact abutters, and from there we will discuss the next steps and the project schedule from this point on. Look at the project team. Project team consists of Mass DOT and GPI. Mass DOT Highway Division is responsible for the design and construction processes, and GPI is responsible for the design of the project. Look at the project area. Here's a locus map. The project is just over 6 miles long. It begins just east of the Milestone Rotary, travels along Milestone Road onto Main Street, and ends just west of the Sconset Rotary. As part of the project area, the intersections of Monomoy Road, Popus Road, and Tom Nevers Road are also included. Why do we need this project? Here is a list of some of the existing issues throughout the corridor that we have found. I'll be discussing in more detail each one of these issues one by one. The first issue I would like to discuss are the lack of compliant wheelchair ramps. This is This is a common issue throughout the corridor. There are no cement concrete wheelchair ramps with detectable warning panels. So pedestrians and bicyclists are not alerted that they are entering a roadway. Also, if you look at the picture on the left, this is the end of the Sconset bike path, the crossing at New Street, and there is no adjoining ramp that we are crossing pedestrians and bicyclists to. We're just crossing them into the street currently. The next issue I'd like to talk about is intersection safety issues. Photo on the left is of the intersection of Monomoy Road and Milestone Road. Currently, today, there is a splitter island which splits Monomoy Road into two legs. This creates some safety concerns and also additional conflict points that aren't necessary. The photo on the right is of the intersection of Tom Nevers Road and Milestone Road. Tom Nevers Road comes in at a very large skew into Milestone Road, and this promotes higher right turn speeds from Milestone onto Tom Nevers, which isn't necessarily safe for pedestrians and bicyclists who are crossing on the Sconset bike path. The skew also creates sight distance issues for vehicles on Tom Nevers Road, and it lengthens the crossing of the Sconset bike path as well. The next issue I'd like to talk about is the passing zones and the faded pavement markings. As far as passing zones go, they are incorrectly marked in many locations out there today. Some passing zones are striped through side street intersections, which is not compliant. Let's see if you guys can see this. Right here, this is the intersection of Milestone Road and Chuck Hollow Road. And right here, you can see that there is a dashed yellow line indicating a passing zone, which there should not be one within 500 feet of any intersection. Photo on the right is the intersection of New South Road and Milestone Road. As you can see, talking about faded, or this case, possibly lack thereof, pavement markings, there is no crosswalk or stop bar, and this is a common issue throughout the corridor. The next issue are the non-compliant regulatory and warning signs. Here are a few examples of some non-compliant signage throughout the project area. For the most part, signs are either old or they're non-reflective. There's also additional signs that are required but aren't currently out there. One example of non-compliant signage is if you look at these two center signs, the left one being the airport sign and the right one being the hospital sign. Currently, the directional arrows for those are in the white area of those signs and are very hard to see. I mean, you might not even be able to see it. There's a blue arrow inside that hospital sign directing which way to go, and this can distract you from the roadway. The last issue I'd like to talk about is the lack of connectivity between the bus stops along Milestone Road and the Sconset bike path. The photo on the left is the bus shelter for the Tom Nevers Road, the north side bus stop for Tom Nevers Road on Milestone Road. There's currently no safe way for pedestrians and bicyclists to get from the northern stops to the Sconset bike path. The photo on the right is the southern side bus stop for the Tom Nevers Road stop on Milestone Road. There is minimal dedicated bus pull-offs. As you can see in the photo on the right, the bus is currently pulling off into the grass area. And this is a common theme throughout the corridor. Again, here's a list of our project goals. On the left, again, is all the issues that I've just gone through, and on the right is a list of how we plan to combat some of these issues. For non-compliant wheelchair ramps, we do plan on providing ADA-compliant cement concrete wheelchair ramps with detectable warning panels at all crossings. For those intersection safety issues, we will be realigning Monomoy Road and Tom Nevers Road to minimize conflict areas and also to improve sight distance and safety at the intersections. For the passing zones and faded pavement markings, we will be providing MUTCD compliant pavement markings and high visibility crosswalks, as well as restriping to passing zones to be compliant with today's standards. As far as non-compliant signs go, we will be providing and replacing all signs to meet MUTCD compliance and adding those additional signs that are lacking today. And lastly, for the lack of connectivity between the bus stops and the Sconset bike path, we will be providing dedicated bus pull-offs along Milestone Road where it is feasible. Here's just a look at our typical section on Milestone Road. We will be maintaining approximately 10-foot lanes and plus or minus 1 foot shoulders to match what's out there today. And again, for the Sconset bike path, we'll be providing ADA compliant wheelchair ramps with detectable warning panels and crossings at all side streets.
Did you say that the roads are currently 10-foot wide lanes?
They vary throughout the corridor.
Is that the average?
That.
Could you state your name, and we're supposed to wait till after?
Oh yeah, sorry.
If you don't mind, we'll just wait till the end, but we appreciate it. You're doing a great job.
Thanks, Tom.
Sorry, Erica Looney.
Thank you.
Here's a look at our proposed improvements for the intersection of Monomoy Road and Milestone Road. We'll be realigning Monomoy Road to create more of a T intersection. By doing this, we'll be removing the splitter island. This will improve sight distance and also reduce conflict points. We'll be creating a dedicated bus pull-off as well as a sidewalk to connect that bus stop from the north where it pulls off to cross them over to the Sconset bike path safely. We will also be replacing the slotted yellow reflectors within the roadway on Milestone Road and be providing high visibility crosswalks. For Tom Nevers Road, here are the proposed improvements. We will be, again, realigning Tom Nevers Road to create more of a T intersection. This will improve sight distance on Tom Nevers Road. This will also reduce the crossing of the crossing distance for the Sconset bike path. We will be, again, replacing the slotted yellow reflectors on Milestone Road, providing high visibility crosswalks, as well as providing a dedicated bus pull-off for the southern side stop with a crossing to the existing bus pull-off for the northern side stop. Here's a look just at a typical bus pull-off at some side streets. This intersection is for Russell's Way at Milestone Road. For the northern side bus pull-off, we're providing sidewalks for accessibility to the bus stop with ADA compliant wheelchair ramps and a high visibility crosswalk to safely get pedestrians and bicyclists to the Sconset bike path. For the southern stop, we will be reconstructing the bike path within the project limits. And again, we will be providing ADA compliant wheelchair ramps with detectable warning panels across the side streets as well. Here is a look at our proposed improvements for the Pulpus bike path crossing on Milestone Road. We'll be providing adequate signage to alert motorists in advance of this crossing. We will be providing high visibility crosswalks and yield markings at the crossing itself to again alert motorists that pedestrians and bicyclists are crossing the road. And we will be providing ADA compliant wheelchair ramps and cement concrete wheelchair ramps and detectable warning panels for the bicyclists and pedestrians crossing Milestone Road. How will traffic be affected? Here's a look at the expected construction impacts to abutters. Paving roadway reconstruction of Monomoy Road and Tom Nevers Road will take place during off-peak hours, which generally means between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Roadside work such as work on the Sconset bike path, any bus pull-off work, loam and seeds such as that will take place during regular construction hours. There may be need for some short-term detours and or alternating traffic. Impacts to abutters and businesses will be limited, and driveway access, pedestrian access, and access to the Sconset bike path will be maintained at all times. Here's a look at our next steps. From here, we will prepare the final design plans. Environmental permitting is underway and will be completed in the near future. And once those are both done, we will advertise for construction. Look at the project schedule. The preliminary design plans were submitted this past December. Today we are having the design public hearing. The final design plans and environmental permitting is expected to be completed late spring or early summer of this year. From there, we'll advertise in the summer of 2018, and the construction is anticipated to start in the fall or winter of 2018. And This time, I'd like to give it back over to Tom.
I just wanted to point out, I'd like to point out that we have some handouts in the back of the room that are behind you. Can't hear me?
We have dead zones in this room.
I'm sorry. Handouts in the back corner there. Handouts in the back corner.
It's not on.
No, I understand. I know you have a video operation going, and you need me to speak into this so that the sound comes up in the video. There are handouts in the back corner and a sign-in sheet. If you'd like your presence here recorded officially, please sign in, and that way we can reach you and you can reach us. My information's right there. It's in your handout that's available in the back corner. So without further ado, if there are not any elected officials here that we generally offer first time to speak, if there are no elected officials here who want to speak first, then we'll just open it up to everybody else. Yes, sir. If you could just speak your name and spell your last name.
Bernie Civitarese. I live on the bottom of Milestone Road.
Bernie, can you spell that for us?
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, because he's got to get it.
Ready?
Yeah.
Civitarese. Civitarese.
Thank you.
Now, I live on 309 Milestone Road, which is right, and if you know Wisconsin, before you get to Wisconsin, there's a water company on the right-hand side. Right before the water company, it's about 6 or 7 homes. I live right there. There's been the drainage is horrendous there. Is this going to address any kind of drainage issue?
Maybe I should start off by saying that the scope on this project is very limited, and it's based on some available funding we had, which we would lose if we didn't invest it somewhere. And
Okay.
in the entire Commonwealth,
Right.
Milestone Road is the only rural road where this funding would apply, and with it, we have enough money to do lines and signs, basically, and these minor improvements at
So
these
drainage is
intersections.
not-
So not in this project, but we are working with the town, and hopefully we'll develop, more substantial roadway improvement projects in the future.
Okay, how about lineage?
Yeah, well, we got all
Now,
kinds of.
as you come down out of leading Wisconsin,
Yes.
where New Street intersects with Wisconsin Road.
Okay.
Leading Wisconsin. Now, there are 7 or 8 homes where I live on the opposite side of, I live on 309 Milestone Road. Across the street, there's a new development called Hydrangea Lane.
Mhm.
And so when I'm pulling out of my driveway sometimes, since it's a passing zone, coming down out of that hill, people get the speed going. And they'll tend to try to pass someone, and if I'm trying to take a right into Wisconsin, sometimes it just come right into me, and a couple of times it's been close.
Right.
Now, I was wondering if it's possible to get a double line coming down Wisconsin Road
Yeah.
until it passes all the homes that are on that side of the street. Basically to the old dump road. Whereas now, you can just fly out of Wisconsin, and people get really antsy when they leave Wisconsin.
Good question. Let me bounce that right over to our designer, who hopefully maybe has a graphic that shows that coverage.
Yeah, I can show you on the map exactly.
We have it covered.
Is that within our limits?
Yes, it is within
Oh,
our limits.
quite
But
good.
we are restriping all passing zones, so if it's at an intersection, there are no passing zones within 500 feet of any
Almost
intersection.
covered then.
So,
But the houses probably go down about 1,000 or so feet.
So from Hydrangea Lane all the way to the Wisconsin Rotary, there are no passing zones because they're side streets so often.
Right. I'm going a little past Hydrangea
Okay.
on the left.
Yeah, I mean, we're what number?
309, I am. I mean,
We're
basically,
within a couple hundred feet of
Right.
throwing a double yellow on there, so we
Yeah.
could definitely look at that a little closer
Okay.
and provide
I
that.
mean,
That's great.
Because when you come out of your driveway, sometimes people are just passing someone.
Sure.
You're trying to make a right. It's just it gets scary. That's all I want. So drainage is out, right?
Not in this project, yeah. That was a great comment. That's the kind of thing that we're here to learn
Oh,
today.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Noah Carver, Nantucket Memorial Airport, KARPERG. Where specifically are you in the environmental permitting process in regards to NISA? Do you anticipate a rare species take, and
No.
do you know if there are any proposed mitigation steps?
There's no right-of-way impacts at all to this project, so We have very minimal permitting to do, I believe. Do we have to go before Concom? I don't.
We don't have to go before Concom.
So it's a programmatic.
And there is, I believe there was a rare species assessment that was
Right.
done.
And we're not impacting, I don't
Correct.
believe.
Follow up. Maybe I can communicate with you.
Absolutely.
Would it be possible to see
Some documentation? Absolutely. Yep. Great. Yes, sir.
Hi. Lee, that's easy, L-E-E. Saperstein, S-A-P-E-R-S-T-E-I-N. I've got a question about the wheelchair ramps and the warning strips. We have had a bunch of them installed on redo of Nantucket roads. And my colleague and I in the Committee on Roads and Right-of-Way suddenly have people saying, do they have to be yellow? Do they have to be in place at all? And so I'm just asking for the designers to comment a little bit about the impact on bicycles, because we've got far more bicycle travel on that bike path than we do wheelchairs. In fact, I don't know that I've ever seen a wheelchair on the Wisconsin bike path, but I've certainly seen joggers and strollers and bicycles and so forth. So is there a compatibility with these, and do they have to be yellow?
They do not have to be yellow. That would be something we could work out with the town, whatever the town's preference is. They do have to be there, however, it's federal law, actually. And granted, there's probably very few, if any, wheelchairs out there on a daily basis, but again, law requires that we.
So
I'm
not questioning that.
Yep.
The question is the construction and design of these. What impact does that have on a cyclist? To be frank, they're supposed to be stopping, but they rarely do.
Right. I think that's negligible to a bicyclist to ride over those. The dimples are very, I think they're 3/8 of an inch or something. They're very shallow, if you will. But we'll work with the town officials to figure out what the preference is here. They come in a variety of tasteful colors. Yes, ma'am.
My name's Erica Mooney, M-O-O-N-E-Y. I work in the town administration office, and I have a few questions. You said your construction schedule is slated to be spring of 2019. How long is the construction supposed to last? And what is your anticipated start and end date? Spring?
We haven't dialed it into start and end dates yet, but we envision it being done in a year. You know, one season. A season being a calendar year.
Is that during the summertime?
No, we have a summer prohibition here, I believe. So we would stop between Memorial Day and Labor Day, I believe. And
Another thing, we have Daffodil Festival in April.
we've got to go. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but we do have to go one at a time, and we do need the name thing. But just to finish with Ms. Mooney.
And I wasn't finished.
Huh?
I said I wasn't finished.
Right.
Go ahead. So a 1 year with a summer moratorium, so about 9 months.
Yes.
Approximately. And I was going to point out what Bert was just about to say. We have an annual festival here, Daffodil Festival. It's the last weekend of April.
Okay.
And it involves a car parade going from downtown Nantucket all the way up to Wisconsin. And there's a parade and a picnic on the Main Street portion of Milestone Road going all the way to Wisconsin Rotary. So would you be anticipating working during that time?
We
Is
could.
that something that we could work out with the schedule?
Absolutely. We can add some language to our contract to prohibit work during that special time. And if there are any others like that as well.
Okay, and I just had a couple more questions.
Okay.
There was a slide that showed where you were realigning Monomoy Road.
You want louder?
And
Then softer.
Go ahead.
Again.
Oh, sorry. Hey, you, stop talking out there.
this looks like it's an old graphic, but it's been superimposed on because Comcast has done extensive work there. And their whole area that they're using has changed, so I just want to make sure that their entrance and exit won't be impacted during that time, because that seems like it's only any cable provider. It needs to be able to get in and out of there.
It will not.
And then at the Tom Evers Road intersection, there's currently a National Grid transformer
Yep.
on the eastern side, and I'm assuming that that's still on the side of the roadway.
It is. You can barely see it. Maybe Eric can zap it with his laser.
See if I can get this thing to. See, Molly? There we go. So,
They're right
right
there.
around
Yeah.
here
Yep.
is where that transformer and utility pole are, which will not be affected.
And then we have constant house moves happening on Nantucket. I book those, and I have house moves almost every single week, with the exception of the summer. And a lot of them go to Sconset. So how will those be accommodated during this construction project?
When you say house moves, you mean they're moving the building?
Yes.
Wow. We will have to coordinate with our resident engineering staff.
So at some point, and I guess I'll work with Mike about getting in contact with that, because I've got a very busy schedule.
Okay, that's great. The more communication we all have together, the better this will all work. It shouldn't be a problem, though. The level of construction going on with this work is fairly light. You know, we're striping, a little milling to take out the existing stripe and put down a new one. Signage, and a little bit of paving at these intersections. That's about it.
And you said 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. for construction schedule, mainly? Or did I hear that wrong?
No, that's what I heard too, but I wanted to ask about that. Typically, we start at 7, don't we?
That's it for off-peak hour construction.
I see. 9 to 3.
It's not all construction, it's just like heavy
Yeah.
roadway construction.
Okay, noise-making type stuff. Would be 9 to 3.
Again, we've got school buses that need to go those routes, and, we'll need access.
All typical issues that we encounter on all our projects, and I'm sure we can accommodate that.
That's it.
Great, thank you very much. Those are all great questions. And I'm sorry, sir, you had a comment?
Well, we already took care of
Okay.
the daffodil, because
What's your last name?
Johnson, Johan,
Thanks very much, Mr. Johnson.
Planning Commission, and the Property Owners Association, President Tom Everly. Each year, more and more cars park along the side of the road, all the way from the rotary to Wisconsin. So that last weekend in April, the sides of the road really need to be cleaned up if they're putting in bus stop construction and that sort of thing.
Yep. We can do that, I imagine. When you say clean up, you mean just grade it, or?
Well, because cars are going to be parked. and
Yep.
People are going to be all along there. The rest of the.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So if we're got a construction zone, you want us to clean it up before the cars come.
Yeah, that one weekend,
Gotcha.
that last weekend in April. we'll make them-
We'll make sure that occurs. Yeah.
Tom, just one question.
Yeah.
Can we find information on that festival online, or is there any information that you can,
Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce? Thank you.
Great. Thanks very much, Mr. Johnson.
But it's always the last Saturday in April.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Liz Truitt, G-R-I-L-L-S. Will you be doing any work on signage?
Yes. Yes.
Well, may I suggest that you work on the signage for the bike path? There are stop signs, but no one ever stops, particularly at the junction between Tom Evers Road and Milestone Road. Is it possible on those stop signs to put the insignia of a bicycle so the cyclists know that they're supposed to stop? It's just a common stop sign, and they figure, oh, that must move the cars.
Right.
If you have a cyclist insignia, they do these things all over the world, but just not here. I think it would be nice.
I'm going to defer to our expert.
We are proposing stop signs at all crossings for the bike path. We can definitely look into additional plaques that can be added, in case they don't understand what the stop sign means.
It's a really dangerous thing.
No, I understand.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
It's a milestone. They come over what we call Bean Hill, and they go boom.
Yep.
You don't want to wait until it's too late.
In addition to the stop sign, there's also a striped stop bar on the path. So, no.
The reason we're not answering your question directly is because we're held to conventional municipal traffic standards. We have to, stop sign has to look just like every other stop sign in America. But we can add a plaque, perhaps. Yeah, to indicate this applies to you too, bicyclists. Seems like, you know. Yes, ma'am.
Linda Williams, I'm on the planning commission as well as chairman of the planning board. I want to echo what the young lady said. Stop signs mean nothing here on these bike paths. I live off of one on Surfside. They go right on through. Most of us know to stop and wait for them to just finish going through because they pay no attention to the stop signs. What has been more effective here, as it is up on Cliff Road, on that bike path, was there was a changing surface.
Yep.
So when they're zipping over Bean Hill, and they do come over Bean Hill very fast, and we're going very fast on Milestone, and I'll get to that intersection in a second, where the change in surfacing before they get to the stop signs and a change in the color has been very effective up on Cliff Road.
Is it the pavement surface? They've changed the pavement type?
They've added, Mike can probably tell you better, there's some sort of a change in surface, visual impairment type of change.
Oh, okay, we are having
on
those.
the bike path itself,
We
which
have these-
reminds them that, you're coming up way before, maybe 20 feet, 40 feet before you get to the stop sign.
Oh.
Reminds them that there is something coming up and they see a change in surface,
Oh,
which makes them wake up to the fact
Yeah.
that there is a stop sign in front of them. And it works up on the cliff. I've been elsewhere where they've said, you're coming to an intersection,
okay.
like a rumble strip.
Yep. It sounds like this tactile warning panel that we're going to put at the intersection, but you saying it's 20 feet
When they come
back.
up over that hill on Bean Hill,
Yeah. We'll take a look. We'll go out and
they're
take a
really
look.
cruising. The cars are cruising and the people are cruising.
Yeah.
And they're just sort of going with the flow. And they hit that Tom Nevers intersection, which is my button.
Yep.
I voted against the changes you're proposing on the
Hmm.
planning commission. It was a split vote. I'm sure Mike had said that. It was a 4-3 vote.
Hmm.
We didn't have all 11 members that were sitting. And I'm still concerned about the plans that you have for it. I'm not in favor of it. I think
Okay.
it needs to be moved back down the hill or as far as you can get it to give people time to see the bikes and to see the cars coming over the hill.
It does.
I could care less about your little model up in your office, 500 feet. I could care less about it. I was just there twice yesterday.
Yep.
And I stopped there and I waited.
Okay.
And I moved, sort of moved back and forth. There was no traffic coming out of Tom Nevers. And I was waiting to see how far it would take me to get the car coming over Bean Hill and the bike coming over Bean Hill before I hit somebody.
Yep.
I don't care about what it looks like on the model. The practical use of that intersection is not as you anticipated. So I'm not in favor of it. I voted to keep it off this list
Okay.
entirely until we come up with something else. And one of my patriots here is also on the planning board and planning commission is going to have that conversation. But I didn't want any changes made to it.
Right.
You got all kinds of other things going on the whole length of the 7 miles now. I'm having a problem with that, but I think you need to warn people coming up over Bean Hill
Yep.
with change in the surfacing,
Okay.
that they're entering into something where they need to stop.
Well, that's a great suggestion.
It's a
Well,
blind hill, basically,
we'll see what they're doing. What was it, Mill?
up on Cliff Road.
Cliff Road.
Those are like,
We'll take a look at Cliff
those are like
Road.
you're saying with the visually impaired, they're right
Yeah.
at the intersection. But when you have this kind of a lack of visibility.
Right.
speed,
Move it back.
You
Yeah.
need to move it back.
Or add additional further back. Yeah, I got you. Great comments. Thank you. Yes, sir.
John Trudell, Trudel, and as Linda said, I'm also on the Nantucket Planning Board and also the Nantucket Economic Development Commission. Linda pretty much introduced my concerns with the Tom Nevers split there.
Yep.
Milestone. I'm not offering a solution, just more questions, because it was brought up at a meeting and we bounced back and forth both sides. Has a lot of merit, but also a lot of concerns when we're reducing the, coming from Sconset,
Put Tom Nevers up there.
Sconset towards the Rotary, where, from my understanding, we're pushing that intersection more towards the hill, which, for obvious concerns, when you have a speed of, should be 45 miles an hour, where people are doing 60, coming up over that hill, and people are pulling out from there, you really have to worry about that. So moving it up is a concern. Also, with the angle that you're proposing, instead of the the gradual ease that it is right now, coming from town, going
Yep.
out Wisconsin, making a right onto Tom Nevers Road. The concern is when you create more of a turn there,
Yeah.
people speeding behind you are going to have a problem. For obvious reasons, I like that you're reducing it, because for bikers on the bike path, you're definitely making it a little bit safer to reduce that width. But I'm wondering, with some ideas as far as painting of lines, there are a couple of areas on the island, instead of proposing the dramatic change where it's going to be construction and moving everything forward, if we keep it where it is, so to speak, and then paint some lines, because people are generally prone to follow the lines, and keep it where it was, closer to the left, and paint yellow lines so that you still have that gradual ease, but when people are coming off of the Tom Nevers Road onto the Milestone, they give more of a right-hand turn to get the same purpose that you're proposing here. But it also gives a couple of more extra feet to make that left turn and not worry about the car speeding over the top.
Yep.
That, my other question is, would we be able to bring that bike path down a little further, and with some kind of guardrail fencing, create it so the bike path eases down and it's a little bit more safer? I know the really hardcore bikers, they love a straight line, but from a safety standpoint, if we can bring that down further, it would actually give even more of a narrow space and make it safer, just to direct the bike paths there to meet that goal also. There are many concerns, but these are just a few of them.
Well, they're all well received, and I just wanted to talk about, I think we're holding the right edge of the existing intersection. It's just the left edge that we're pulling to square it up. We feel that a 90-degree intersection is safest, provides best sight distance for everyone. So we haven't reduced the sight distance of people coming off Tom Nevers onto Milestone.
So it's not moving up the hill.
We're not moving it up the hill. We've held that edge,
Okay.
and we've just pulled the left edge in to reduce the speed of those making that right turn onto Tom Nevers, which, granted, people will have to pay attention to brake lights and turn signals.
They don't. They're moving along very quickly there because it's straight. It's not doing anything. It's
I
not
know.
doing anything funky there on your way to Wisconsin.
But to encourage that high-speed turn makes it unsafe for people crossing Tom Nevers.
Well, you've got a conflict here, because
Right.
people are moving along at a steady pace onto Milestone going to Wisconsin.
Right.
And they're not expecting somebody to come to a slower stop there.
Well, there are turns on the roadway. We have
There are,
to.
but not here. And this is practical use of this habit. People that haven't been here, or haven't been here during the winter where they change things, that always messes people up when you put stop signs on.
Change is
They're
tough.
not used to it, they go right on through it.
Yeah.
But people are moving along here, and
Yeah.
somebody who's 4 or 5 cars back in the summer in particular, aren't going to know somebody's coming to a real slow stop to take a right here. They're gonna run right up somebody's rear. That's what I'm concerned about. That's what some of the discussion was about, the 2 or 3 times I've been involved with this particular intersection lately.
Yeah.
And that, I'm not in favor of it.
Okay.
And he voted against it also.
Okay.
And the other person who voted against it, who's the chairman of the Planning and Economic, is on his way down to a bus from Ireland. He just flew into Boston.
Oh,
And he's against that kind of change right now also.
okay.
So, and we were missing 4 other members at the time we were away.
Do you have a quorum?
We had 7, and it was a 4-3 vote.
Yeah.
After quite a great deal of discussion, not about anything else,
Yeah.
but that one intersection, which is why I made the motion, or you made the motion, to take that off this list for now.
If I could just continue. I hear your comments. I'm not dismissing them. I think we have a disagreement, but so be it. The other thing you mentioned was pulling the bike path down, down Tom Nevers somewhat. That has the effect of pulling the stop bar down with it, which eliminates any sight distance that people pulling onto Milestone would have. That's the negative of that.
Is there, well, is there a potential for a trial period of paint, where if you line them, we're not going under construction in the fall, let's say, you have a busy season in the summer, is there a potential to maybe paint those lines, see if it affects anything, and see if it's actually necessary to do the construction of this particular part of the road in the fall. I don't know what the protocol is and how the grant is given. If we're not looking to get rid of the idea, but
Yeah.
we're looking to potentially minimize it, and also at a savings to the state.
We can talk about it. I had one idea, and maybe this is foolish of me to bring it out in public setting, but what if we were to leave the stop bar where it is and put a car's width or car's length between the bike path and the stop bar? Put the stop bar up closer to Milestone and then put the bike path down 20 feet or something.
So the crosswalk be behind.
Yeah.
It's
Behind
not
the first car.
not typically we want something that we want to introduce. The other issue that we would have with that is the utility impacts.
Yeah.
And with the schedule that we have for this project, we wouldn't be able to fit many.
Oh, and that's got the cabinet there too.
Right.
How much town, yeah, the thing there, you know, does the town actually own that one?
Well, we'll keep working with you. I can't make any promises, but we can talk about it further. And for the sake of moving the discussion forward, we just keep going.
Sure.
All right. Yes, sir.
So one more thing on Tom Nevers.
Mr. Johnson.
The bicycles come down going from left to right, headed to the east.
Yeah.
They don't realize that there's traffic doing 45, 50 miles an hour on that road, and that some of it turns right in front of them. And what I've found over the years is you pull up beside them, they don't really look at you.
Yeah.
I just beat my horn once, then they notice you're there, and then they start to slow down so they don't run right through the intersection. Is it possible to put up a sign that says, if turning right, sound horn to bicyclists?
Well, I don't know if we can do that, but we are signing the intersections for the bike paths, right?
We are signing the intersections. We're also adding the high visibility crosswalks. We're also adding the cement concrete wheelchair ramps, which informs the people using the trail that there is a crossing. One of the issues today is that everything is the same. It's all asphalt, so they just keep going.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say that these
Good idea.
wheelchair things are a waste of money because, as Linda was saying, and my experience has been, they just shoot right through the intersection. Right now, we have a big 10-inch wide stop line across the bicycle path. In front of it, 12-inch letters or 10-inch letters that say stop, a stop sign, a red hexagonal stop sign, right on through.
Maybe enforcement's the issue. It seems silly to have to put a traffic control officer out there to stop bicycles, but basically it comes down to,
But that's
short of
island-
physically
that's-
stopping them.
That's island-wide, and that's just people not taking,
We-
paying attention.
Let me get this handsome guy over here in the blue sweater.
Thank you for that. I'm Dual McIntyre, MACINTYRE. I live in the neighborhood and also a board member for the Tom Nevers Civic Association, and the local Tom Nevers East Association. I don't know whether you, any of this team has been out there during the summertime at this intersection to observe the bicycles and the cars, but I certainly would urge you to come this summer and look at it firsthand during July and August, because that will give you, I believe, an entirely different perspective of the amount of traffic and what the problems are. As everyone, John, Linda, Bert have all said, the real safety issue are the bicyclists on that bike path. And unless we can find some way to get them to observe the signage, you're still going to have a dangerous intersection, no matter how you do it.
I'm going to throw out another idea that may be foolish, but how about bollards at the intersection? You often see that on the Cape Cod Rail Trail. At, street crossings, they'll put a bollard.
Yeah, we can definitely investigate other ways to slow
Yeah.
them down. I have seen what is similar to a rumble strip for bicyclists. Bollards, maybe separating them out a little bit more. So we can investigate
Chicane.
other.
Tom,
Lee Saperstein again. You just have to double check your
Yeah.
clearances. We do have mechanical sweepers to get snow off bike paths.
They can be removable.
Yes, that, I've seen that.
Just an idea.
And we also have the joggers with the strollers and double strollers.
Another idea is that corrugated concrete that you see in gore areas on the highway, perhaps.
Great. I just wanted to mention Pam Hasner, MSDOT. We've been discouraging bollards.
Oh, okay.
Because of crashes primarily.
Yeah.
I know we're taking them off of some of our shared use paths, but splitter islands or something to, separate it, slow down the traffic. Take a look at
We can take a look at that.
We have a whole library now of bike accommodation techniques. We're really expanding our toolbox in that regard. We're spending a lot of money now on bike accommodation around the state, and I bet there's a solution there we can find. Yes, ma'am.
I'll just expand on that, my original idea. It wouldn't be just one. You mentioned one on the highway. I've seen one on the highway when you told us where there's one, then there's another one.
Oh, yeah.
Closer, there's another one, and then there's another one.
Yeah.
Which would fit right into the existing bike path.
Yeah.
If they hit the first one, then they hit a second one, unless they're completely asleep
Right.
at the wheel, literally,
Yeah.
they're gonna get the fact that there is a gradient coming down and they need to stop.
Yeah.
Because they've hit these at intervals.
We'll look at the various tools at our disposal to indicate to people that they've got to.
Excuse me, Thomas. Just looking at the green that's highlighted in that
Yes.
area.
Yep.
Is there any way to potentially take the bike path and, as I was saying before, bring it down along the green space and literally close off the green space? And again, it's not a solution, it's an idea.
Yeah.
Making a picnic area, a lot of people stop along there to have a picnic on Milestone. And then also on the coming from the right side,
Yep.
coming down that horseshoe and really making it so that it's safe to cross in the most narrow part of the area. And the reason why I say this is because a lot of the bikers are recreational bikers that come out here with families and pull kids by the trailers behind them. It wouldn't be really affecting them to go that much out of the way. It's the racers, but generally the racers are on the highway, the Milestone, so it wouldn't really necessarily affect them. And I think it is maybe a potential compromise for both to make it safer for actually people, and also supply a nice stopover place.
So
Straight shot, that's the problem. And it's a
Just-
2-mile straight shot.
Yeah,
right there.
we're all focused on that straight spot and distance. And
just to be clear, you're asking to move the crosswalk further south?
yes, exactly. Almost eliminate it where it is.
Yep.
And redirect it almost down by, I don't know the distance because I don't have a scale, but closer to where the highlighted road ends, maybe a little out further. Give your line of sight for safety a lot more. And then really you're working with the road and we have easements on either side of the road. So we're not really going into private land.
As long as we stay above that first dash line there.
I see. Right. So
We can look
Just
at
an
that.
idea again.
Yeah, no.
We just know that most of the focus from us,
Yeah.
our negative comments haven't been on anything else. They've all been focused right here.
Right. So we'll do some more work and see if we can come up with something that works for everyone.
Yep.
And just be aware of, like Erica mentioned earlier, there are things that take place out of the daily basis, like the county fair in September. There is the Cranberry Festival on Wednesday weekend, which is also past this intersection.
Yeah.
There's a lot of traffic in both directions, September and October, for those specific events, which are all listed on the website. But there are things going on in this area
Yeah.
that we need to be aware of. We need to have access to notifications.
This work won't be too impactful to traffic. I mean, we'll always be able to maintain two-way traffic, I believe.
But-
However, if there are functions or holidays or festivals throughout the year that the town wants to let us know which ones to prioritize, we can write that into the contract. That's not an issue, really.
Also,
Yes, Ms. Mooney.
road races and none of those.
Yeah, there's a lot of road races.
I just wanted to reiterate on the bottom lines, I don't think that
I never should have brought it up.
Yeah. And I worry about Mr. Trudell's comment about possibly, and maybe I misheard him, but moving the crossing kind of further south.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you're coming off the Milestone Road to take that, you're not gonna have that visibility to see, and you're gonna crash into something.
Yeah. I'm trying to be polite and not kill your idea here, but I don't know as we can do that.
Yeah.
Again, we moved the stop bar too far down, putting the crosswalk behind a vehicle, and then we try to maintain a consistent language out there for all the users. And people are used to seeing pedestrians cross at intersections. We like teed up 90-degree intersections because it provides best visibility in each direction and that kind of thing. But we will come up with some way to indicate to cyclists that they need to stop. And we'll get back to you on that. It'll be reflected in the next submission, which should be coming in a couple of months, I guess.
Right.
Thereabouts. We're getting close to advertisement. We had a classic conflict between consulting engineers and MassDOT in that I said the advertisement is at the end of May, and Eric
We're trying to push it out.
push it closer to summertime. But we'll keep on them, and we'll try and get it.
We want to make sure that we work with the town and
Absolutely
provide as much as we
yeah,
can.
There's a lot that we're hearing tonight, or today, I should say.
I know that it's very premature to even ask this, but are you anticipating weekend construction or mainly Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday?
No weekend construction. Typically a 5-day week, 7 to 3 typically.
Because I would say most of the events that Linda was talking about are
Are-
weekend events.
Oh, so that works. Yes, sir.
Hi, Jason Bridges, BR, IDGES. I live in Tom Nevers, a bike tour company that uses bike paths there. I'm a cyclist, so I train on the road at 6 a.m. I'm also on the select board. And I appreciate the time and effort and funding that the state's putting into making this safer, the whole corridor. This particular intersection of Tom Nevers is really tricky, as you can tell.
Yeah.
I'm really concerned. So I ride through this, and what I do like the clarification that the right side wasn't moved up. That was going to be when I was going to raise my hand about that was moved up, but now that it's not, I feel more comfortable with that. And then I really like the coming out milestone, taking the right. That's a major issue. People taking it at 30, 45 miles an hour. This knocks it down to 5 or 10. Slower is safer. And I understand Lynn's comment of it'll take some getting used to.
Yep.
But if there's signage or some creative, you can do that. So this is tricky, but I like it where it is so far. There's some great comments in there.
Thank you.
So thank you for everything you're doing. Appreciate it.
How about our public safety officer? Do you have any thoughts you want to express? No?
Gathering in.
I agree with Jason, though. I think that by eliminating the Y, keeping it a sharp right does slow traffic down. If we move the bike path any further down, you're going to limit the visibility.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, sir.
And one other thing, on the slides you showed, it said the construction is going to start in the fall of 2018.
We will give a notice to proceed. Yeah, we'll award the contract to the low bidder in the fall, sometime in the fall, and give them a notice to proceed. They may be able to get some work done before the winter shutdown. This kind of work, actually, there's a lot they probably can do in the winter months because we're not compacting earth or pouring concrete or anything. And yeah, it's hopefully a little milder here. So they could probably work later into the winter, later into November and December perhaps. But typically we shut down mid-November to mid-March because of the asphalt plants close and we can't compact frozen soil. But they're going to buzz right through this work. I can't imagine this is going to be a real problematic construction phase. Anyone else? Going once? Going twice? We're going to get
Hey, we can catch the boat.
4:35. Thank you very much.
much. We'll officially close it, but we will remain here as long as you'd like to chat with us. Appreciate your coming today. Thank you. They weren't as bad as they were made out to be. Made out to be.
No, I couldn't imagine.
Thanks for making you guys way down here. Not easy getting there. Try to fill off all those things. I do tours there, I ride in the morning, and I live up there.
Piece of Nantucket history. This is the 100th anniversary.